How is everyone doing today? And in this video, we are going to be talking about a topic that is stirring around the Zenless Zone Zero community, and that is in regards to a lot of the things talking about the collab between not only Zenless Zone Zero, but also Street Fighter 6, which I think is a really cool thing that we're going to see, especially because this is a interview in regards to talking with the developers from Zenless Zone Zero and also developers of Street Fighter 6, which I think is a really cool thing to see. And let me know if you want me to break this down or talk about this interview when it releases down in the comments below, because I would love to do so if y'all are interested. And same thing, we are going to be breaking down the stream as it comes out on the 28th as well, so there's a lot of content coming our way, which I'm very excited for. But before we get into all that, make sure you leave a like, comment, sub, all that different type of stuff in regards to Zenless Zone Zero, and let me know what you are excited for when it comes to not only the stream but also this upcoming interview with Street Fighter 6. Now, the main topic of this collaboration, I guess you could say, is that we have a video from Tectone, which I've already watched, and I've taken down some key points that I saw from the video that I do want to address, because I do think in this video there's a lot of things that are left out in regards to the FGC or the fighting game community, in regards to them enjoying gacha games, them being directed towards the marketing for Zenless Zone Zero. And I just think personally, before we get into anything else, I think it's a very good move from Hoyo. I think this is a very good direction they're taking in regards to marketing towards the fighting game community. And there's a reason why, but I'll talk about that more in depth as we get into the longer thought process I have in regards to a lot of his main points. But to be able to sum up his video, which of course, if you want to watch this video, the link will be in the description down below. But the key take points from this, one of them not said by Tectone, but said by a lot of other people in the community, which is of course the downplaying of newer gacha games. We've already seen this with Honkai Star Rail, with them not liking turn-based games, and it ends up being one of the best succeeding gacha games in the current moment since its release. We've had Wuthering Waves, where a lot of people were talking about it being a Genshin clone, and they've already made 100 million on their first month, which is absolutely insane. And then now the similar topic goes for Zenless Zone Zero, which we've already seen how that goes. They hate on the gacha game and they have a bigger success story, so it makes it even better, especially with us hitting already 45 million pre-registers. It's already a fat ton of people that are going to enjoy the game, which I am super excited for to cover, so it's going to be really nice to see. The actual take points from his own opinion on his video is that one of them is that Hoyo could be making better decisions with their money in regards to marketing towards the fighting game community. Another one was that there isn't much overlap between gacha players and FGC game players. And then the last one is that there are a few people who come from an FGC background that are already currently playing gacha games. So I do want to give my own opinions on a lot of these things in regards to what we're seeing in towards all of the aspects towards FGC into gacha games. And a lot of the things we do talk about is in regard to how actually closely knit these two communities are together, because not only do we have, I'm going to say from personal experience, when you're at a tournament, when you're at a venue, a lot of these fighting game players, when they're waiting for their matches, have some type of gacha game on their phone, because they're doing something while they're waiting, and it's usually something like Nikkei, it's something like a Hoyo game, it's something like Freight Grand Order. There's a lot of different games being played while you're waiting for your matches in these tournaments, and it's a really funny thing to see, especially with how closely knit these two actually are, and especially with the introduction of Wuthering Waves. This has even been more expanded on upon, because especially looking at how other fighting games are, where we like our combos, we like really flashy things, and how this devolves into other fighting game players really liking something like Devil May Cry, where there's combos and really flashy things and timings. When we heard that Wuthering Waves had combos, we had non-stop people from the FGC, not only from EO, and also of course gachasmack in this post that he made, which was this whole video being about gachasmack, EO. There was a bunch of other creators that were finding things inside Wuthering Waves that in regards to the FGC is something that was a mechanic in another different game. We've had stuff for Verena, we've had stuff for Kalkoro, Jion, all these different other type of characters in Wuthering Waves had tech found in them because they were present in another fighting game. So the fact that there was very intricate and very delicate mechanics being put into these characters, a lot of the FGC took notice of this and ended up downloading the game just to try out these combos and to make these really flashy things that are akin to something that you would see in Devil May Cry, which of course that has more combo expression, that has a lot more technicality to their combos. But the fact that there's a resemblance of it already made a lot of the FGC players go and try Wuthering Waves out, which is a very huge step. Now, the thing about Wuthering Waves, or not Wuthering Waves, Zenless Zone Zero marketing towards the fighting game community, how this could have been done better with a different genre that would have better crossover. I think the fighting game community would definitely have one of the biggest crossovers for gacha games. The reason I say this is because when you're looking at how Zenless Zone Zero at the current moment already has a lot of their demographic already captured, especially with one of the most recent additions to Hoyoverse's arsenal, which is the Hoyo Play launcher. A lot of the players that already are playing the Hoyo game, whether it be Genshin, Impact Third, or Honkai Star Rail, a lot of these games already have Zenless Zone Zero flashing at your face at all times when you're in the Hoyo Play launcher, because it's right there for you to download and it's in your face every single time you log in. So every time you see that, that's already their advertisement for the game immediately if they've already got you in the Hoyo sphere. Now, the other people who aren't in the Hoyo sphere yet, a lot of this already happens by word of mouth. A lot of people get into the game specifically because a friend told them to play it, because a friend showed them a character, because someone else showed them something in the game that got them interested. And not only that, you have to remember that there are also venues, there's a bunch of cons, expos, where you see characters littered, or people littered with characters from these Hoyo games, because the cosplays for them and also the artist alleys, everything in regards to that. When it comes to being an anime enjoyer, a fighting game enjoyer, you're going to see non-stop amount of Genshin, Star Rail, Impact Third cosplays everywhere. And with all the merch that is sold in these places, you just see these two communities intermingle a little bit more often than not. There's always people playing gacha games at these fighting game events. There's always people being around or surrounded by these gacha games when it comes to all the events that are towards the fighting game community. And looking at an audience that hasn't been reached out to for a good minute, because of course the idea for a lot of these companies is that why would they be interested in a gacha game when they are a fighting game player? They might not like it. A lot of it is really good towards Hoyo when it comes to looking at what demographic do we not have, what demographic can we reach out to, and looking at how the fighting game community is going to really like something like Zenless Zone Zero, where there's more combat, there's more frame data, there's more intricate mechanics that are from fighting games. You're going to be seeing a lot of really cool stuff come from them. I promise you, on a couple of weeks in the game, you're going to be finding some insane stuff from different characters with a bunch of different creators from the FGC talking about it. And I just think that's going to be a really cool thing. So why waste your advertisement money, or your money that you're using for advertisement, on the demographic of casuals that you're usually catered towards, or the people that are already playing Hoyo games, when there's already enough advertisement with word of mouth, with having the Hoyo Play launcher, with having these really quick TikTok and YouTube ads, where you can go for a completely different demographic that is very similar to the game that you're asking for them to try, which is Zenless Zone Zero, which is very akin to something like Devil May Cry, and the Devil May Cry has their roots from the FGC as well. It's a lot of really cool things that we're looking at in regards to this collab between the two games when it comes to Zenless Zone Zero and when it comes to Street Fighter. It's really fun stuff that we're going to be seeing, especially with all the creators that actually have FGC background to them, which there's a lot more than just which this post is about, which is Gachasmack and EO. There's definitely me, there's Soulless Soul, that's the upcoming creator, there's Zeta Slow, there's also Azrael Vanity. There's a lot more players and content creators in the game at the current moment that are very, very interested in Zenless Zone Zero, that all have roots in the FGC. And I just think that's really cool that a lot of us are going to be trying this game out. A lot of us are very excited for this type of game, and it's already expanded towards seeing a lot of people in the FGC portion of the community looking towards Zenless Zone Zero, and a lot of the fighting game creators as well trying out Zenless Zone Zero, advertising it to other players in the fighting game community, which I think is a really cool thing. We have a lot of stuff that is intermingled within these two games when it comes to the mechanics that we see from games like Naruto Storm, where you see the switch tech happen non-stop between Wuthering Waves and what we're going to be seeing in Zenless Zone Zero. We also have already had fighting games itself also collab with gacha games in the past, where we've had something like Epic 7 go in with Guilty Gear, which Guilty Gear is a fighting game as well. So there's a lot of really cool stuff that you see, that the FGC and the gacha game players are a lot more intermingled than what you think. And to see that, you know, we're having this opportunity where Zenless Zone Zero or Hoyoverse is trying to direct this attention towards the fighting game community and allowing them to come try out the game, I think it's a very good move on them. I think it's a very strong thing for them to do, especially with them expanding out their roster of players that are going to be playing the game when it comes to the casuals, when it comes to the very much loved turn-based players, when it comes to the very dedicated fighting game players. They're expanding it as time goes by, and the more games we get from Hoyoverse, the more they're trying to capture every single type of audience, and we're definitely seeing that with Hoyoverse hard pushing for the fighting game community. So other than that, that's going to be it when it comes to talking about this topic. I definitely want to know what y'all guys think in the comments below, and let me know if you've played a previous fighting game. It'd be funny to see a lot of people that have roots in the FGC talk about Zenless Zone Zero, especially if you can let me know down in the comments below. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be in the video. See y'all guys in the next one, and peace.